tell you what, that's a pretty good way to kick off the day. Good morning guys, and welcome to day 2 of this little trip. I just had a fantastic night's sleep up in the rooftop tent. It was a windy night, but where I'm camped right now is quite nestled in amongst these trees. So the worst of it was just like a little bit of wind rustling through the leaves, which is quite relaxing in my opinion. Anyway, so just cooked and ate a delicious breakfast, which was some bacon and onion in a bit of a omelette-y wrap kind of thing with some grilled tomatoes on the side, and of course a coffee to energize me for this big day of adventuring. So my plan of attack is to pack away all this mess behind me from making that delicious breakfast, jump on the road. I'm going to head down and check out the Gardner River Mouth. That's the same river we actually crossed on our way in to get here yesterday, and the mouth of it is where it kind of links up to the ocean, which is about 5 or 10 minutes down that way, just up Coodamurrup Beach. So that's my plan of attack. Get packed up and get on the road. Currently cruising down Coodamurrup Beach, and I'm actually surprised at how compact it is. I was always told that the beaches down this way are really soft. You have to drop your tire pressures right down, but to be honest, it's really compact. I mean, still drop your tire pressures, but yeah, it's pretty compact, and we just come out of summer, so I would have thought this would be when it's at its softest, but pretty compact. It's also a super wide beach. Like right now it's about 11:30 and it's high tide, so I kind of expected to have to be driving right up there because the water I thought was going to be much higher than it is. So yeah, pretty good all around, and I'm the only one on the beach. There's no one else down here. It's a bit of an overcast day today, so I think everyone's decided to stay home and given me the entire beach to myself, which is awesome. So I managed to make my way all the way down to the mouth of the Gardner River. The beach was open the whole way through, which was great, and it just pulled up on the southerly bank. People are actually crossing the river, so that's how low the water levels are at the moment, which is pretty cool. And yeah, just happy I got to come down and check it out. I'll chuck the drone up to get some proper footage of it as well, but on the other side, there's actually a few shacks, like private shacks that are dotted their way along the coastline. So they must have a similar agreement to the shacks at Wedge if you're a WA local. So yeah, pretty cool. There's a lot of people fishing, so the beach was pretty quiet when I first pulled on, but then there was a couple of pockets of people fishing away, so it must be a good time of year for fishing. One of these days I'll have to find my old fishing rod, give it a dust off and try fishing for myself. One thing I thought was probably worth mentioning while I'm bouncing along one of these, the tracks that there's only enough width for one car to drive along. I'm just making a mental note of areas I can pull the car into to let someone else pass. That way, if I'm going around a bend and I see someone come nose to nose, I know how far back I have to go to get off the track to allow them to come through. Half the time, they'll have found a way to stop and let you pass, but it's just a good thing to keep in mind. So if they can't go backwards and you have to reverse, you kind of have somewhere in your mind that you know you can safely get your car off the track and let them come through. I'm also taking it really slowly through these tracks as well, because there are quite a few blind corners and there's only enough width for one car, and it's also a busy weekend, so I just don't want to come up to someone going too fast around a corner and have an accident. By the way, you are currently watching a man with no sense of direction, navigating himself to somewhere he has never been before, with no reception for any sort of navigation. So, fun times ahead, can't wait to see where we end up. I'm trying to make my way down to an area called Fish Creek. There's a little hut there, but I'm guessing being a weekend that is going to be completely chockers. But there's a few areas around that location I've been wanting to check out. There's actually quite a lot of free campsites scattered throughout the Don Tricasto National Park. However, not all of them are accessible by car. And if you're wondering, like, what's the point of having a free campsite if you can't drive your car to it? Well, it's actually for hikers, because one of the more famous hiking trails in WA, the Bibbulmun Track, it actually runs through this region. And those free campsites are actually for the hikers to stop in overnight while completing a very, very long hike. So this is a bit of a weird one. I've just pulled into a place called Fish Creek Hut. This is the iconic tree out the front. I've been wanting to check it out. It's a place you can come and actually stay in, and it's right next to an awesome little cliff walk where there's some good fishing apparently, hence Fish Creek Hut. However, I just pulled in and I was like, am I in the right spot? Because no more hut. Completely gone, which is crazy. I was not expecting that. Unless I'm in the wrong spot, and feel free to comment down below if I've just stuffed up. However, what makes me more certain that I am in the right spot is there's bricks here, old plank of wood. So yeah, apparently this hut was here for a long time, like built in the 1900s. Now it's no more, so that's pretty sad. I think there must be some conservation stuff happening in this particular area, because there was also a track I wanted to take that was supposed to lead me down to like a cliff top area. You could park your car right on the edge of a cliff, and I was gonna have lunch there actually, but that track was also closed. So yeah, a bit sad that there's no hut here anymore, but yeah, at least we got to come down and see the area at least. But yeah, quite sad. So I've just walked down to the Fish Creek cliff area. Apparently some awesome fishing in these waters. I wouldn't know, I'm not really much of a fisherman myself. This section just here, I did some bit of research before I came, and apparently they used to lower their boats down this cliff all the way down to the water down there with a little winch system up the top there. So very keen, must be some absolutely crazy good fishing down there. I guess it's all part of the fun, isn't it? It's just weird that this place is now so abandoned. Like, it's a popular weekend down here. I guess the weather's not great. But obviously the hut's gone, nice and quiet down here. It's just, it's a bit eerie in a way, a bit unusual. I'm genuinely shocked about that hut no longer being there. It's quite sad in a way. Like, I rounded the corner expecting, like, oh, it's a busy weekend, this place is very popular. When I came around the bend, I expected to see swag set up, tents everywhere, cars galore, people staying in the hut, you know, everything going absolutely crazy. I was literally hoping to myself, I was like, well, hopefully I can at least find somewhere to turn around and get a glimpse of the hut, and that'll be fine. And then to rock up and it's no longer there, and the place is completely abandoned, not one person there. I was probably there for half an hour or so, did not see one other car. So yeah, it's quite sad. I mean, unless they're going to be redoing it and putting a new refurbished hut in there, which I highly doubt. It's a sad time we live in, and hopefully it was taken away for the right reasons. What they are, I don't know. Conservation, I suppose. So consider yourself lucky if you're one of the lucky few who actually got to stay in the hut at some point in time. But for now, that chapter's come to an end, and it's a chapter I wasn't even a part of. Anyway, the day's getting on a little bit now, so I'm going to make my way back and try and find somewhere for myself to camp. I was in two minds about just staying there and just chucking the tent up as a tribute to the old Fish Creek hut, but I did have my eye on a couple of places further along down the beach here, which also look pretty nice. So I'll see if they're still available, but if not, I know exactly where I'm camping tonight. Oh yes, my good luck continues. So after a nice fun day of exploring, I rolled around the corner and my first choice from the sites I cased out when I first drove in today was still free, so I pulled in, set up camp. We've got a lovely bit of afternoon sun beaming in as well, so the weather forecast just got it all wrong. I thought it was a nice opportunity to sit down, relax a little bit, have some dip and biscuits, and celebrate another fun day with a cheeky beer. So cheers guys. Tell you what, this day continues to absolutely amaze me. So for reference, they forecast it to be cold, wet and windy the whole weekend. Right now I'm sitting down on the beach, not a lick of wind whatsoever. I've got a jacket on, but it's not cold by any stretch. And I'm about to enjoy an absolutely amazing sunset with hardly any clouds in the sky except for a few over here. So I tell you what, I must have just got lucky, and what that's also meant is it's been incredibly quiet down here, way quieter than I thought it was going to be. I thought I'd be fighting people left, right and center to find a place to camp or even just drive along the tracks normally. So very happy, what an amazing trip, and that sunset is a hell of a way to finish the day. For dinner tonight, I'm going to be having steak and potatoes, which I know sounds kind of boring, but I'm putting a bit of a twist on the potatoes, which should make them a little bit more interesting. So for the steak side of things, just a standard steak. I've been getting it up to room temperature for the past half an hour or so. If you don't cook your steaks at room temperature, give it a go. Trust me, it makes them a lot better. And for the potato side of things, I'm actually stealing a recipe off a video I watched by Graham Cahill. So if they turned out well, you got him to thank. Essentially, I've just bought some baby potatoes. I could only find them in packets like these with butter and parsley, but ideally you just buy these as separate baby potatoes, but they should do the same job for me. All I'm going to be doing is chopping these all in half, getting them into this water that I've got on the boil here, but the part that comes next is a bit more interesting. Chuck those potatoes in. Now I'm going to let those cook until they're just about done, but it's very important we don't cook them the whole way. So a bit of a rookie error, I've just run out of gas in my main gas bottle, or I'm really close to, because the flame is down to bare minimum, and when I turn this burner on, the flame goes out just like that. So, luckily enough, I always carry some of these little spare propane tanks that Coleman stove can also run off. So I'm going to switch out to one of these and resume cooking. Alrighty, those potatoes are just about done, but not quite cooked. So now I'm going to turn this heat off. I'm going to light my frying pan to get that warming up, some heat into that. And now what I'll do is I'll take all these potatoes out, chuck them all on the flat side down, and just kind of push them around a bit with a knife, kind of just break them up so they get a bit squished. That one really squished. So yeah, definitely not be gentle with them. Almost turn them into mashed potato in a way. There you go, dinner's ready. No, just kidding, there's one more step. So now our frying pan's getting nice and hot. I'm gonna go in there and chuck plenty of olive oil. Now at the same time, I'm going to chuck my steak on there, and I'm also going to chuck these potatoes on there as well. So that frying pan is nice and hot, which is what you want for steak. Oh, listen to that sizzle. Get that underway, and we're also going to take our little potatoes. I'm going to chuck them on the side here in that oil as well. Just like that. Add a bit of salt and pepper. And I want them to be nice and crispy, so I'm going to add a bit of olive oil over the top there as well. I tell you what, it doesn't get much better than that. Steak, hopefully cooked medium, and some of this delicious potato crumble, I suppose. Better give you a taste test. Yum, it's honestly so good. It's like soft potato in the middle, crispy skin on the outside. Anyway, I'm gonna chuck some tunes on and get stuck into my dinner. Oh, excuse me, who do I see about getting seconds? Honestly, that was such a great camping meal, absolutely delicious. Definitely give those potatoes a go. They were spectacular, do recommend, and not to brag, but I just cooked a pretty perfect steak as well. So I'm happy all around, and what a fantastic couple of days it's been. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this little expedition through the Don Tricasto National Park. My first time in this region. I've had an absolute blast. I feel like I've only seen about a quarter of it, so we'll definitely have to come back and do some more exploring. Probably up the northern half, because there's a bunch of stuff I want to explore up that way, like Yeagerup Dunes, Calcup Hill. See, the mighty D-Max can make it up one of the most notorious sand dune climbs in all of WA, if not Australia. And also, yeah, probably just crossing the Warren River, which kind of just comes out onto the beach there. I think you actually have to cross that to climb Calcup, so might be all part of that same package, but very keen to get out and explore some more. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment down below if you guys enjoyed this style of video, so I know if I should make some more or not. So I'm just going to be doing some pretty boring stuff now, doing the dishes, packing the kitchen away, pulling some footage off all these various SD cards, and then jumping into bed for a relatively early night. Got to get up pretty early tomorrow morning to get back on the road, back on the bitumen, and then back into reality. So thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Man, this camera focus is real nice. Did that look cool?